for something. Yeah,
Thought she better ride.
The Swerve City Podcast team is here and we back. We just followed up a legendary historic episode with Charlotte Flair and my verse last time we were in here. It was classic. It was awesome. It was dope. And we was like, we did the wrestling talk. We had the wrestlers. We had the rappers. We're going to take a whole different direction this time. If you're watching this at home, you subscribe to youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast for all our content and episodes. We are going to go the comedic route in a different form of entertainment, and I couldn't think of a better person to bring into the Swerve City Podcast. Our first ever comedian on the show. The first ever comedian. We got Brad Williams. What's going on, man?
Oh my God, I'm popping your comedy cherry right
yeah.
now.
Oh! First ever out of 43 episodes. The first ever comedian, man. And you got some competition with we had Pat McAfee on here. We had Pete Rosenberg.
Yeah, man.
Man, Drew McIntyre, Kofi.
You guys had Pat McAfee. That guy could do stand-up if he, I think he did a few times. I think he actually did do stand-up. I hope he doesn't want to do it full-time because Pat McAfee can do anything he wants to do. He's like a Swiss Army knife.
He is, and he scares me, the fact that he performed on Takeover and outshined a lot of people. So I'm like, yeah, it was crazy.
Right? Oh my God. Because whenever celebrities dive into the pro wrestling world, you're wondering, will it be Pat McAfee or will it be like Jay Leno in the 90s? You're not.
Is it going to be Dennis Rodman? Or are we going to get a Karl Malone?
Yeah. You're not quite sure how it's going to work out. But no, I am honored to be on. I'm honored to be on your show. It's weird. It's like wrestlers, rappers, midget comedians. You guys are like a carnival. This is awesome.
I say this all the time and nobody believes me. Finally, somebody agrees with me, and without me having to pull their arm to do it. Thank you. It's a traveling circus. It's just with a lot of cameras. That's all it is.
It's very true. And it's weird because whether it be pro wrestling or comedians or actors, rappers, we're all kind of that touring lifestyle, that nomad lifestyle, that performance lifestyle. We kind of all share that. So it doesn't really matter that we're all in different industries. We're all doing the same thing. We're all just trying to entertain people, and we're all you guys put your bodies on the line way more than I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been in some really crazy situations where a fan after the show will be like, well, he's tiny. I can pick him up, right? So but that's not as dangerous as what you guys do. So hats off to you.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit first about, during this whole scare, at least for this past year, a lot of places have been shut down, man. And not many people haven't been able to perform. Stuff, at least in some places, starting to go back to half capacity. Tell us a little bit about performing during this COVID time, and what's been the adjustments for you?
Oh, man. Well, first off, when everything shut down, I started doing virtual shows. And let me tell you, virtual comedy shows are a whole new level, man. When I'm telling a joke about a joke about sex, and then all of a sudden on the Zoom, I see someone's 3-year-old wander into the room, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta backtrack. I gotta use a lot softer words because I don't want to be the reason why this kid's in therapy in 15 years. Everything was going great, and then I saw a tiny man say naughty words, and now I just don't want that to happen. Zoom comedy shows. I got on Cameo. I never thought I'd be on Cameo, but if you want a dwarf to wish you happy birthday, happy bat mitzvah, tell your ex that her vagina smells, I'm in. I'm your guy. Book me on Cameo. But then I started actually back to going out to live audiences, live performances. Right now, I'm coming to you from a hotel room in St. Louis, Missouri, where all my shows, thankfully, are sold out. I mean, they're sold out in quotes because the club is at half capacity. But hey, man, just to be back out there and have live people and get that live reaction, I will do it for a third capacity, an eighth capacity. It doesn't matter. I just needed that because dude, I don't know about you, but when everything shut down, for a moment there, I thought to myself, wait, is my industry dead? Like, am I ever going to get to do this again?
Yeah. Dude, we were looking at, like, for me, I was looking at the movie industry because, like, a lot of sets closed down, a lot of filming projects just got postponed for a while. Like, the WWE, we had to keep rolling through, and we rolled through the punches. We made adjustments where we could, but it was still it was tough for us too. But like, it was a lot of like entertainment things. I was like, we're gonna have to like, I think it's going to be done for a while. Netflix was just like, what are you going to put on there now? It was just like other movies about what we're going through, quarantine movies. I'm like, I don't want to watch what I'm going through right now. Right.
Yeah. They had like some dating and quarantine reality shows, which my wife got me addicted to. And that's the excuse that husbands always say, oh, my wife makes me watch it. But half the time it's like our girlfriends, our wives, they get us watching it. And then, 3 episodes in, we're like, wait, why are you turning it off? We got to see what's happening next. Like, then I get into it. So yeah, but adjustments are made. But right now, the shows I am doing with live people, the people that are there are so thankful. They're so happy. They're so excited to be out. They just want live entertainment back. That it's some of the best audiences I've ever had, because the people that are there want to be there. They're not random drunks walking by the comedy club going, hey, Brad Williams is there? All right, let's see if he's funny. And then they wander.
Man, going to improv, watching you guys was like a breath of fresh air. I'm like, wow. Like, it was half capacity, but still I felt energy. And I know that's like a whole big thing for us performers, man. Music, professional wrestling, comedy, feeling that energy from the crowd again, no matter how like slim down the capacity has to be, just feeling that energy again as a performer, man. Talk about that.
While we watch you give a lap dance on our TV.
Yeah, we're still got the special ongoing. So, this is never going to get old.
Yeah, that's my first Showtime special. That's called Fun Size. And here's a fun fact. The lady that I'm giving the dance to, I used to give a dance to just a random woman in the audience after every show. Then I stopped doing that after this special. But for the special, we wanted to go really well. We didn't want to leave anything to chance. So yes, the person who I'm giving the dance to is a plant, but she's a special plant. Her name is Jennifer Sturger.
I know Jennifer Sturger.
Yes, you do. So
yep.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah,
so I was like, wait, she looks familiar.
Getting a lap dance. And but yeah, to answer your question, having that live energy is just, oh my God, it's so much better. Because like the Zoom shows, there would be like a little bit of a laugh delay, and you couldn't turn on everybody's mic because you couldn't have people talking and stuff during the entire show. So like I would hit a punchline and then kind of pose like, huh? And then you just have to,
oh God,
you're just waiting, and hopefully they laugh. And but there's nothing like that live audience giving you that live feedback where you hear instantly, okay, that joke worked, that joke did not. And then you have really incredible moments. So last night here in St. Louis, I was doing a show, and halfway through the show, no joke, at the very front table, a Great Dane dog just stands up. I had no idea this dog was there. It was so well trained. It was just laying by its owner's feet the whole time. And how do you miss a Great Dane? They're the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. But the dog was there just lying down, and I did some sort of joke where I think I made like a noise that sounded like a dog growl or bark or something. And the dog stands up, scared the out of me. I didn't know the dog was there, and all of a sudden, like I'm 4 foot nothing, I see a horse just pop up like a dire wolf, and I'm just like, oh God. And but then I started talking to the person who brought the dog and why she has the dog and what the dog does, and we started getting into this whole thing, and it was this whole amazing moment that is impossible to happen when you don't have that live audience right there, because that's a moment that'll only happen at that show. You can't recreate it. You can't say, let's try to do that again. it's just for that audience. And then that audience feels really special. They feel like they saw something that nobody else saw. So I'm very thankful to be back. I'm glad people get vaccinated and people can start coming out again. How are you guys doing with the Thunderdome and having the Zoom wrestling shows?
I've only done the Thunderdome once, and
okay.
So then because I did 205 Live there, and that was a cool experience actually. Like, they did the best they can to create an atmosphere, and that's like for us, that's all we need, some type of atmosphere or energy from, of people being there or people watching or like people reacting to what we do and stuff. With the same thing with on doing stand up, you need the energy from a reaction from what you're performing to know that you're doing the right thing, what you're doing works. Just for that one time there, I felt good about it. It was really cool. Now continuing to do it on like an every week basis, that's the challenge. Mm-hmm. That's challenging.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when I've had people ask me like, hey, so what's it like doing like virtual shows or whatever? I imagine it's kind of like doing the virtual wrestling shows where it's like if the live packed stadium, if the live packed comedy club is the heroin, the Zoom show is the methadone. It's enough to just kind of get you by, but it's not like it's not good. You know what I mean? It's not the good, but it's like, all right. It's like throwing on the patch of Nicorette. You're like, all right, here we go. Okay, like it's not the good, but it's just enough that we could be like, okay, that felt like something that it used to feel like.
Right.
Speaking of performing, I was watching. So like when COVID was really, really going bad, though, there was I was watching this show and there was this one rapper. He was just sitting in his living room doing the E concert. And
that doesn't sound good. That sounds awful.
And it was an E concert, and he's literally sitting in the living room, the microphone, like it's like right in front of his face, and he's sitting there just rapping like so. He did this for like 50 minutes. They gave a concert, and he paid, and people paid for this, and he just sitting there in this living room with the microphone, not have no energy, nothing, just rapping his lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, this needs to end.
Dude, for those who underplayed the value of like Flava Flav and a good hype man, that's your proof right there.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it. Because God, I was like, yo, 5 minutes of this, I was like, all right, I can't do this. And I really like the guy too. I'm not gonna just name him, but I like the guy, and I was like, I can't do this.
I just hope as people like being deprived from being an audience so much, we really respect the art now so much more. Like, you know what? Like, we need to give these guys, these performers, all the love, all the appreciation, even if they're like the performances are all right. Give them that love, man, because
they're trying.
Yeah. Like we love everything right now.
Along those lines, when you said that story, I just heard this story today, and I guess Seth Rogen confirmed that it was true. I don't know if you guys have already talked about this. Seth Rogen told a story that he was once in a limousine with Kanye West and Seth Rogen's wife. It was just those three, and Seth said that, shocking, he was really high, and him and his wife were really high. And Kanye proceeded to rap an entire album front to back. And he said it took about 2.5 hours.
Hey, yo, man, listen to this, man.
Like, dude, which album was this? I'm like, which album? I'm like, which one was he doing? I wish I knew.
So my question to you is like, if it's going 2.5 hours, because like, I think if he starts doing it after 2 songs, it's like, this is really cool. 4 songs, you're like, oh, okay. Like, are we wrapping this up? Like, at what point do you say, hey, Kanye, we're good?
You can't tell Kanye no. That's like if Prince was singing like, hey, I'm singing like 3 albums straight. I'm like, yes, you are. You do that.
Yes, you are.
He's got like the same energy in track 12. Be like, I ain't saying she a gold digger. You look at you make this singing like, I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Like I said, it'd be great if it was albums we already know, or if he's singing new stuff. That's like, you know what? I don't know what he's doing, but I want to hear this.
Oh God!
Life of Pablo. This sounds great, like a great project coming out soon.
Oh God! I hope it's something everybody knew. Be track 13.
I hope at one point Kanye did the thing that rock stars do, where they like hold the microphone out to the audience for them to finish the lyric, and he's like doing it like it's just Seth and his wife. He's like, I ain't saying she a gold digger, and then he holds up the mic and Seth's like, listen, it's just the three of us, but I'm still not saying that lyric.
He's like, no, come on.
Now you cool with me, man. You cool? Nah.
It's cool. It's just the three of us. Nope, not doing it.
Nope, it's a trap. It's a trap. So, when did you start doing comedy? What year did you start?
I started doing comedy 17 years ago. It feels really weird to say that because I feel like I'm still a young pup in the business. But 17 years ago, I was 19 years old. I was going to college for something completely different. And I went to a comedy show, and the stand-up comedian on stage started making midget jokes. And half the audience is laughing, and the half that's sitting next to me is like, like they're not laughing. And the comedian notices, and he goes, why aren't you guys laughing? He goes, what, is one of them here? And I just raised my creepy little hand up in the air like, yeah, me. And the comedian didn't flinch. He brought me up on stage and he started asking me questions. I wasn't trying to be funny. I just answered the questions, but my answers got laughs from the audience. And right there, that was the first pop where you get that laugh from the audience and you're like, I'm in. This is what I have to do. So I just started doing open mic nights. And about a year after that, I dropped out of college. I had a year to go, and then I called up my parents. I'm like, nope, not doing college. I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian, mom and dad.
Oh,
so this is a question I always wanted to know, right? I have to ask you this because you have a filter system. Like we have filter systems, and you know him as a wrestler. Sometimes he might try something out. And so he might have someone he runs stuff by to say, hey, did you like this? Did you not like this? Me, I do the same thing in music. What you think? You know, I send music to a lot of people who don't make music, so I get their opinion. What is like the process of you as you was coming up? You said, you know what, you have these jokes and you're just gonna test these out and like, you know, who would you go to? Or, you know, what would be your filter system? Like, you know what, I'm gonna say this. I don't care if they laugh. I think it's funny, so I'm gonna say it.
Dude, that is the wonderful and at the same time horrific part about stand-up comedy is there's only one place you can really try it out, and that's the audience. You have to try it live. And that's why when certain comedians get in trouble for making jokes in front of a live audience because someone was secretly taping them, I don't get mad because it's like that's where you're trying it out. You have to try it out. We have to know what's not funny to know what is funny, and we're not going to bat 1,000. We're not going to be perfect. We're going to try some things. Lord knows I've tried some things that were not funny at all, but I needed that feedback for them to tell me, oh, that was not good. All right, I'm going to not do that ever again. And so, so you have to be very comfortable sucking, and you have to be comfortable knowing that you're going to get booed, you're going to get the silent treatment, people are going to start ignoring you. That's going to happen. And, you know, you just have to push through and you have to understand, you have to trust your jokes and trust your material and trust that you can make them laugh. I hate it, but at the same time, I really respect it because it's so honest. Laughter is an involuntary response. So it doesn't matter if it's an unknown comic or if it's like a celebrity that thinks they can do stand-up. If the joke's funny, they'll laugh. If the joke is not funny, they don't care who you are. They ain't laughing.
Like, so when you were coming up in comedy, that was like some time ago, seeing how PC culture and like all these things that you just got to dodge all these landmines with material nowadays with media, what do you give advice to comedians nowadays? Like, how do they approach, like getting into comedy without offending or hurting or like getting put in that list?
Yeah, it's tough, man. What I would tell people is that there are certain, like, I don't like to say, like, certain people will say things like, "Oh, this topic you cannot joke about, or it cannot be funny. This cannot be made." And my philosophy is, it can. You can make it funny. Anything can be funny. Some topics are really hard. They're a lot more difficult. So, especially if you're a young comic, I'd say, hey, try out whatever material you want. Go ahead, see if it works. But just know certain topics and certain things are going to be really hard to make funny. And you may get some blowback from it. And I think it's really unfortunate that comedians are lumped in with like politicians, where it's like, no, you're a politician. You have a certain decor and how you should act and how you should do and how you should say. Comedians, our job is to push the envelope, see where the line is, tiptoe over the line, move it back. I mean, think about a Richard Pryor, a Lenny Bruce, George Carlin. Think about if they did exist in a time of cancel culture, and they pushed past it because they were just that damn good. Like Lenny Bruce got arrested multiple times for his material. Arrested. So it's like, and at the same time, there will be people that get offended by your jokes. But there's a lot of people that want them, and a lot of people that want to hear them. And when one side of the culture pushes against something, there's another side of the culture that says, "Oh, that sounds awesome. Let's do that." Whether it be back when they put parental advisory stickers on certain albums, those album sales would skyrocket. We have like freaking Dr. Seuss books just sold through the roof because they stopped selling a couple of them. So it's like, whenever you stop something, you make it a little bit more scarce, or you make it evil, or you make it wrong. There's a certain part of the population that's just going to eat that stuff up. So I would say to comedians, do what you think is funny. Be honest with yourself. Don't say something that you think the audience is going to think is funny. Do what you think is funny. Be honest to you. And that authenticity is going to come through in your comedy, and you'll probably succeed from it.
I loved it. That's some great advice, because, excuse me, a lot of times in this industry, it's very, very hard to find what works without you trying it and seeing what is going to fit. It's like going to the studio and recording a song, and then you pass it to the homies, and the homies like, I don't know about that, dog.
I feel like today it feels like everybody's afraid to get the get the negative feedback. It feels like we're afraid of that now. We don't chase that feeling.
Absolutely.
Imagine if someone went into the studio, because here's what jokes are like. Imagine a rapper going into the studio and they have one take and they got to get the album right, because that's what stand-ups are doing in front of a live audience. Like,
well, UPS is hiring. I'm done. No, it ain't gonna be that one. I'll tell you that.
Hey, we get one take out in Mania, in these pay-per-views. We get one take.
I commend you guys. I commend you guys. That's a whole different world.
There's been times I'm like, I don't know how we survived this. I don't know how we got through this. There's been times, man.
But you know, though, those are some of the moments. I had a comic once tell me, it's a great quote that I love. He says, super desperate people get super creative super fast. And when I can only imagine being in a wrestling ring and something goes wrong. I was at a house show one time. I remember this. It was Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns at a house show. And the top rope, I can only describe it as it blew up. Like, they went against the ropes and the top rope just went boom. And one turnbuckle exploded, the rope snapped, and now they didn't have a top rope anymore.
Like Jordan Animal Steel, huh?
Yeah.
Like
I've seen that happen. It turns into like powder. Yeah.
Wasn't planned. It wasn't like a squib or something they put in there. And because you saw them look at each other like, okay, like we just have to keep moving, you know. Whether it be that or whether it be like I tell a joke and the joke bombs, I can't just be like, you know what, that joke bombed. Good night, everybody. It's like, no, you got to figure it out. You got to keep going. Whether it be, I mean, I remember Seth at one point during the match picked up the rope that was attached to whatever was left in the turnbuckle, swung it over his head like he did the belt, and hit Roman with it. It was awesome.
Dude, that's where you get like all the fun. That's where it becomes the fun. All right. Now the fun begins. Let's really create with the audience and stuff. Make something out of this, man. All right. So since we in the wrestling topic, let's transition to the wrestling. You've been wanting to talk wrestling for a while. Yes, right there, man. So when are we gonna see you transition? Come over, have some fun with us in the the wrestling industry. I prefer you in the WWE, but you can go wherever you would like.
Sure. I will say this. I have talked to certain dwarf wrestlers who may look exactly like me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Does that narrow it down to anybody?
Nope, I still don't know. You see it?
All right.
Okay, all right. Just
you're
check.
One of a kind, man. What you talking about?
Absolutely, brother.
You're one of a kind spirit.
Now looks more like AJ Styles than me. He grew out his hair and now he looks like AJ. But I've talked to him about possibly doing something. Listen, I've been a mark my whole life, man. I've loved it. And if anyone wants me to do anything, I don't care. If you want me to do a match, all right, I'll figure it out. I've actually had one professional match, I would say. Ooh. I've had one match, and I'll tell you the story. So I did one day of wrestling training, just because I thought it'd be really fun to do. And as anyone will tell you, after the first day of wrestling training, ouch.
Your body is done.
Holy crap. Just bruises from the ropes, legs couldn't move, back from all the bumps. Was just like, oh my God, that's what these guys and girls do. But the person who ran the school had a show at a county fair like 2 months later, and their dwarf wrestler, or the mini as they called him, the mini didn't show up. One of their minis didn't show up. They're like, we need a mini. And the guy's like, I have one guy. He's had one lesson. So they called me. And I got called in. And this was actually a card. Rikishi was on the card.
Ooh.
Mark Jindrak was on the card. And the wrestler, he only lasted about a week. He had a weird name, white hair. Oh God, I can't remember. Mordecai. Yes.
Yep. Kevin Thorne
was on the card. Yeah, Mordecai, that gimmick. Woo. Anyway, but
man,
dude, he did his best. He did his darndest.
Undertaker's son, man. That was gonna be Undertaker's son. That was
the light versus the dark. I was like, I'm waiting for this.
Kane's step cousin.
So yeah, they called me up and they said, "You want to do a match?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I want to do a match." And my opponent was a Mexican mini who did not speak any English, but his name translated to English is the Psychotic Clown. And thankfully he was really good. And through another wrestler who knew Spanish and English, we kind of talked back and forth. He made me look really fucking good. He was the heel. I was the face. I went over, and I mean, I hit a Hurricane Rana. I don't know how to do a Hurricane Rana. It was one of the sidewalk slam Hurricane Ranas.
Oh, the scissors, head scissors, flying head scissors.
So like, he got me up, and he's like, "Just throw your legs up. I'll do the rest." And I'm like, "All right." So I did it, and dude, the only thing that went wrong in the match was I did a suicide dive to the outside, and I know I was going for it, man. I watched way too much ECW back in the day.
Yeah, bro. In my training days, we weren't even allowed to leave the ring until like 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah,
you can do that.
One lesson. Suicide dive.
So I have to ask you this question because the first time I hear people have their first wrestling match it's funny because I always talk to wrestlers about this experience. So the first time you watch a wrestler your whole life and you go through that curtain, you're the baby face, and you say, "Come on, yeah,
Come on, baby,
yeah,
baby." Generic entrance wrestler number 18.
You have like somebody know you. You're like,
yeah, dude. I remember my name too. My name was Half Pint.
creative.
Yo, trademark that right now because I'm stealing it.
Steal it, do it. But yeah, I hit the suicide dive, but I had too much adrenaline going. So the dude like backed up. He's like, oh, he's going too far. So he backs up, he catches me, and then my momentum carries him over. So he ends up dropping me, and my head hits off the steel guardrail, just boom. And at the time, no big deal. When I woke up the next morning, just cartoon Wile E. Coyote lump on the head. And my head is already big enough, so you can imagine what that looked like.
Like, sir, are you okay?
But the match went well. I won with a sunset flip, and it was absolutely incredible. So if WWE, if any other company wants to call me up and have me do something, I'm more than happy to do something. I mean, between Alexa Bliss, between a few other wrestlers, they've come out to my shows. I'm coming after Ron Funches as wrestling's favorite comedian. I'm coming for you, Ron.
Oh,
yep.
Let's
Him.
get it.
I think Gabriel Iglesias is in that mix too.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he's come to the Lucha Undergrounds a couple times. I met him there.
Brad's like,
Maybe that's what we do. Maybe it's me, Ron, and Gabriel in a triple threat match, and that'll show the world how good you wrestlers actually are when it's me, Ron, and Gabriel in a match together.
Man, I don't know, man. Like the Bow Wow Soldier Boy thing is taking headlines, man. I think they got the first dibs. They got VIP right now. They get the VIP treatment into the WWE right now.
You froze.
So you're back.
Wait.
Can you see us now? It says our internet is unstable.
I got you back.
Are we okay? We're moving good.
Yeah, I got you back. I see you. Throw your hands in the air.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're moving. We're grooving.
Dude,
Well,
like,
I was saying, I was like,
how much pull does Soldier Boy had that he just shut down your broadcast when you started talking about him?
dude, you never discredit the Soldier, man. He hit the U on my internet, man. Like he's everywhere. Young Draco, like, come on, man. Yo, he's the king. I don't want to hear. I don't hear no Soldier Boy slander in this house, and no Bow Wow slander in this house. Everybody knows better, so you better be rooting on the side of Bow Wow in this feud against the wrestlers.
I just respect Bow Wow for dropping the Lil. You know, like
Yep.
take Stones, man, because like Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, they're still Lil. You know,
I've always thought that. I'm like, it don't hit right with just Wayne. No, you gotta be Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you gotta be.
You gotta be Lil Wayne.
yeah. Well, I mean, but don't get me wrong, Lil Wayne. I get why he's Lil Wayne, because if you're just Wayne, then you're like some guy in Indiana that lives in his basement. You know, that's who Wayne is.
I'm like, Wayne's coming to town. Oh, Bruce? No. So we always got to ask this question. Who is one of the favorite wrestlers of all time that nobody can deter you away from, no matter how much they be like, no, this is your guy. You ride with him.
Ooh, so not a commonly known.
Yeah, not the... Right.
Okay.
Right. The one that's just like, he's your favorite. This is your guy. But everybody be like, he's cool. He's all right. But no, this is your guy. Who's your Bow Wow wrestler?
I hate that he's not more known. I literally never saw this wrestler have a bad match. Jerry Lynn.
Yes.
Jerry Lynn.
He's fire, bro.
Incredible.
Never had a bad match. He had a match of the year with Rob Van Dam on Sunday Night Heat.
Yep.
Look, like, for those of you who are like, look up that match and be like, that was Sunday Night Heat. And if you don't remember Sunday Night Heat, come on, man. I've never seen Jerry Lynn have a bad match. He's just one of those wrestlers that always, like, I love the sets. Do they call them? I hate this. You call them like sets or like groups of moves put together?
Sequences.
What do you call
Sequences.
that?
Sequences.
Sequence. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm using the right terminology because
No, you're good.
people tell me all the time, like, oh, yeah, we'll come see your skit. Shut up. It's not a skit.
Like people come to my show, like, go see you spit a few bars. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right.
No, that's not what it is.
I'm gonna go up there and do some Def Poetry Jam and shock the world.
Yeah. So I love like long sequences, and like Jerry Lynn was like the king of those. It was kick, miss, block, flip over, near pin, back body drop into reversal. Like it was just, it never stopped. And at the end, it would always end with like him in a pose, and then the crowd would just go nuts. And yeah, so Jerry Lynn is one of those guys that isn't as known as I would like him to be, but I never saw him have a bad match.
Dude, I remember like every time I thought he was going to peak, he never peaked. Every time I thought he was like, oh yeah, like he was just kept getting timeless. And then another one time, because he had his ECW run. I was like, oh yeah, it's Jerry Lynn, this is over. Then he got into TNA. I'm like, oh, he's killing it here. All right, it's over. Then he got into HD Net Ring of Honor, and then he was having like 4-way matches with like Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, and Austin Aries. He was like a hero. He was like killing it with these guys, the new generation guys. He was killing it with them. He was always just timeless. Every generation, he was just like keeping up. So that's why I remember him. Like I think I did one show with him, and it was like a Indiana somewhere, like Louisville.
Nice.
Yeah, like I never wrestled him though, but that was my one time meeting him, and he was phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, it's just so impressive to see a guy do something like that, where it's almost like a Chris Jericho, where they keep reinventing themselves. They're not the guy that goes and they've got the 3 moves they know the crowd paid to see, so they're gonna go, they're gonna do those 3 moves, and yay, and then you go home. Like, no, they're constantly challenging themselves, constantly trying to do something new, trying to innovate and change and trying to adapt. And I love men and women that do that. And Jerry Lynn for sure on that list of like, if you're not familiar, and just to hear someone like you talk about Jerry, that makes me happy, going like, okay, good, wrestlers. He's a wrestler's wrestler where you guys respect him.
So musically, what do you like to listen to? You know, because me, I like to listen. I do not listen to rap. Like when I was like on my peak of my tours, I never listened to rap before I went on stage. I listened to like Dave Matthews Band or something. I would not listen to rap because I was like, I'm going to mess up if I listen to rap.
I listen to a nice little Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right. I try to listen to the opposite genre before I have to go do what I do, because you're about to be around a bunch of rappers all day. I don't want to do that. Question I have for you: what music do you listen to pump you up before you go on stage? Is there a go-to you listen to? What's in your soundtrack?
Yes. So lots of comics, and people would assume that I like listen to something that like gets my energy up and gets me really excited. It's actually the opposite. It's like, I like songs, like if I hear a crowd be really rowdy, I don't listen to an aggressive song. For me to get into a good headspace right before I go out to meet a possible volatile audience, I like to calm down. And right now my song is Disturbed does a cover of The Sound of Silence that is haunting and beautiful and amazing. And that just gets my head into the right space where I go like, okay, now I'm chill. I can deal with these guys.
Damn, keep losing them.
I'm back. I found out what happened.
Oh, what happened?
So I'm in a hotel room and my internet ran out and I had to re-up the internet.
Oh,
Man, that used to be the UK.
Hey, man, you on black people time, brother. You cool with me, dog?
Dude, I get the complimentary. I don't know what paying $15 every weekend for internet. Screw that. Complimentary internet.
But shout out to
day.
St. Louis, man. As soon as it was a minute over, they were done. They were like, bye.
They said,
You ain't getting no overtime. You ain't getting no grace period, no countdown, nothing, huh?
Keeping things on a schedule here in St. Louis.
Lord knows. They're like room 284. Yep. Cut him right now.
Shut it down, man. I don't care. He's on a podcast. Let's shut it down. So yeah, I re-up. So as long as this podcast doesn't go for over 24 hours, we'll be fine.
I think we can manage this.
Yeah,
I think we've been pretty good at these
It's
lately.
not going to be a Kanye limo session. We're good.
Like
call
episode 18. So we're only keeping you for like another 10 minutes and we'll let you go because I know you got your show tonight. So you're at Disturbed, talking about Disturbed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Disturbed does a cover of The Sound of Silence that really gets me into a good headspace. It's calm. It's kind of haunting. And I like it because it gets me to calm down. And because one of my tricks that I do when I have a rowdy audience, some comics like to get more aggressive. They like to try to go over the top of the audience. I do the opposite. I get quieter. I get softer. And then the audience kind of checks themselves, like if they're talking, then they go, "Oh, like everyone can hear me," because they're not hearing, they're not hearing my voice, they're hearing their voice, and that makes people insecure. So oftentimes they'll shut up that way. And if I listen to Disturbed, Sound of Silence, that kind of gets me in the right mindset if I'm going to have to do that trick.
That's good.
Wow.
That's good. I like to do the same. I relax. I get mellow. Like Spillage Village has a song called Happy. It's like 6-7 minutes, and it's like JID, Earth Gang, and like all these singers and stuff, and it's like this church feel. And I listen to it every time I go to the CWC to perform for NXT. It just gets me in such a mood and a mellow mood, and like all my senses open up. I can hear everything, see every camera, feel everything. The audience member, this guy's smiling, he's frowning, he's this. Like I feel it all, and it puts me in that mode. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Wait, so you listen to Pharrell, Happy?
No. This Spillage Village is the group. You know what? That might have to go in the playlist now, though.
You know what? That might that's like that. If you that's the one where you really having a bad day. Like, you know what? I gotta put this one on because I refuse to have a bad day. Mm-hmm. You put that Happy on.
Yeah.
You cannot help but get in a better mood after that.
Yeah, you can't be frowning listening to that. You can't even get an argument. Even really if your girl walk in, she be like, you know what? We could talk later. Like, you know, I ain't mad. Go ahead. So, like, what's your chill down song?
What's my chill down song?
Honestly, I mean, like you kind of made a joke right there, but at the same time, I've done that trick. Yeah. When I know that my wife is mad at me and I hear it from upstairs, like, Brad, I just go like, Alexa, play John Mayer, and like,
emergency. Code 9.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of John Mayer, Daughters is a good one for me. Daughters and Georgia Wise, another one from John Mayer. Yeah. Those are two good songs, good chill out songs. What else? Another one
I need some Elton John up in there.
Elton John, like stuff that's like the total opposite, man. I could bump like who else? Some Marvin Gaye, something where I'm just gonna kind of just like be chilled out because I'm gonna go on stage, I'm gonna be there with a whole bunch of energy. The only time I didn't do it was when I was on stage with him. That was our first time doing it, and I was like, I took a. So I ain't gonna say that. And I was ready to go. You know what I mean? And it was like, I caught myself there, buddy. And that was, it was good, man. But otherwise, I just listened to that music. But when we went on stage, I was so hyped, dude. I swear to God, I felt like stage diving, bro. I was just so happy, bro. Because it was COVID week. I ain't performing forever. I didn't have no music in my head. I was just like, bro, we're gonna kill this. But
he'll like swan dive into like the socially distanced part and just hit pavement. Like, miss me.
Oh God.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Give me back. Help
That's
me.
like an Animax move.
But I do know, speaking of wrestling, I do know that we have 9 straight days of Mania week coming up, right?
Yeah.
So with these
It's
9 straight
hard.
days, are you going to be watching these 9 straight days, bro? Are you going to be watching?
Hell yes. I'll be watching. Here's the
I love you,
thing.
WB.
Thank you for the check.
Like, I got my wife into wrestling. So my wife likes wrestling. It's the best. Once I explained to her where she's like, wrestling is stupid, whatever. And I go, no. All right. You know, like those trashy dating reality shows you love? Like, this is that, but with like flips and breaking tables. And once I described it as like a soap opera with pain and like wrestling moves, then she's like, oh, I get it. Now she loves it. She digs it. She talks about Alexa Bliss and how like she's like giving her nightmares and crap. Like it's awesome. It's great.
Or what you could do, what most guys do, married guys do anyway, they show her a picture of Roman Reigns, and that's a cheat code right there. You see Roman Reigns, all right, that's it. I'm watching every week.
He can be the chief of my table anytime.
Spear me in it.
They say he's the big dog.
I wonder if it barks.
But man, so
Dude,
yeah, like
I've asked
9 days though.
Okay. Because I don't know if you're even allowed to answer this question. I don't know how many rules it would break, but I got to ask it anyway. Why is his hair always wet?
Okay, so remember we talk about pushing limits? I'm going to push it right here. It's the water bottles, man. You just look better. Like, first of all, like when they flick it back, he just looks majestic. He knows it. He knows it. He's told it. He's been told that for years. Like when he flicks the hair back and he just sits and it does something to the lady audiences out there. They love him. They appreciate it. Like we appreciate him as a performer. Men want to be him. Women want to be with him. It's that look. It's that appeal. And he's just a majestic look. And it keeps the hair out of your face too. I learned that. Adam Cole. Shout out Adam Cole over there. Keeps the hair out of your face when you're wrestling.
There you go.
Yep.
Good. No, I'll be watching. I'll be excited. I'll be more excited next year when Mania is in Los Angeles and we're all vaccinated and SoFi Stadium will hopefully be packed. And
oh my God.
That's gonna be awesome.
Is that where it's at? Inglewood?
Inglewood, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
is it? Wow.
Yeah.
I remember going to LA. I was like flying over, seeing it being built. And I was just always like, this is going to be incredible. And then finally when it was done, nobody got to sit in it. And I was like, no.
The year it opens. 2 NFL teams. No one.
No one there. They were going to make so much money. Oh,
I know.
it was going to be insane. And I'm a Rams fan too. I'm an LA Rams fan, legit. I would have flown out there to see a game. Yes. Aaron Donald, let's go.
Let's go. Dude, that's awesome. And now, so what do you think about Matt Stafford coming there? You happy? You confident?
I'm happy. Hey, Jared Goff is cool. And like, I do wish we could have kept to Todd Gurley, but I understand he was like breaking down. It's hard to keep like a running back that consistent for several years. And
Right.
But Stafford, I just like he's gutsy and will throw the ball 30 yards. I'm happy to see that. I want to see it in LA. Fling that thing. Fling that thing. Throw it. He's a Titans fan, so there's only like he probably got like 2 more seasons of 300 carry attempts in the season before he gets breaking down.
We run those running backs out the system, out that gauntlet, boy. And we always have a quarterback that can't throw past 10 yards. I swear to God. Dink and dunk. Short route, curl route. It's like, oh, here we go. It's 3 points coming. You know what I mean?
Derrick Henry's like the truck that was chasing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Judgment Day. It's going to break down at some point, but it's going to pile through a lot of stuff.
Oh my God! I am just waiting. I'm hearing he's on the cover of Madden 2 this year.
Yeah,
so then he's gonna get the Madden curse too. Here we go. It has begun.
Eddie Jordan got that thing in 2001. I was like, oh,
that obviously blew his ACL. There it goes.
Hey, Marshall Faulk 03.
Put a 24-hour guard on that man's ACL. Just
Yo.
like
I don't know why there's any other teammates in Tennessee. You don't need anybody else. You don't even need the offensive line. Just hand him the ball. He just runs through everybody anyway. So.
Them Old Spice commercials was legit. He was like carrying people.
literally. What So what else is what's coming new for you, man? Any what other tour dates you got coming up? What any other specials? Anything you working on?
Dude, I am full. If you go to my schedule, go to bradwilliamscomedy.com. You see the full schedule. I'm all over the country. If I'm not in your city, wait. I will be there. New dates are being added. And if you are a big wrestling fan, one of the things I'm very excited about, I think it's already sold out, so I don't really need to plug it, but I'm doing the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, and that is going to be awesome.
You were on the last one, weren't you?
The first one.
Yeah.
I was on the first one. Second one, I was booked to do the second one, but then, would you believe, my wife had the nerve to get pregnant.
Out here just delivering the mail and the groceries, aren't they?
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, she's now, my daughter's now a year old, and but her delivery date was right about the time of the cruise. So I couldn't be like, hey, honey, you're about to pop, but daddy's got to go to the Bahamas to watch some wrestling. Like, that was not that was not going to fly.
Your comment was good for you, man, because certain people would have been like, well, if it happens, you know what I mean?
It's a check, brother.
I'll keep my phone on high, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, first kid, man, I got to be there. And I got to be there. It was amazing. And now, but yeah, I'm ready for the next one. Glad that it looks like it's going to happen. It's supposed to be in October. So if you don't already have tickets, I think there's a waiting list. You can go. I think $1 Million Man's going to be there. I think Kurt Angle's going to be there. I think Bully Ray is going to be there. So yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Love it. Hey, man, I would disguise to hop on a dinghy and be on the side of that thing like, hey, what's good popping, just to see Brad perform, man, because like I went to see you in the Improv. I was blown away. I seen your material before, but being there live, it was appreciative, and you were such a great human, humble human being to come in, talk afterwards, come on the Swerve City Podcast, meet my crew, meet my family. This is my family. They're not even friends anymore. This is my family, my brothers right here. We've been riding, and yep, that's my man Siren right here, director extraordinaire. We got X over here, social media, and we got Mike the Goat.
I'm not the only white guy.
Yeah, we keep it around.
He got coordinated a long time ago, brother.
Yeah.
He black.
Yeah,
I love it.
He had a pass initiation like in Coming to America too.
Yeah, bro. Hey, who said? I love it when he called me Big Papa. Who said that?
He had to cut the whiskers off a pit bull to get up in here. So yeah, he had to go through the gauntlet. But that's our guy. That's our guy. We working on a music video this weekend. It's gonna come out, man, like a month, maybe 2 months. I don't know how my editors. Y'all got some work to do because it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna send it right to you to check out our music video coming out, man.
Badass, man. Thank you so much. This was a blast. And yeah, I love talking to you after the show because, like I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of what you do. And the podcast with Charlotte was the first one I listened to. It will not be the last. Now I'm hooked. Now it's in the rotation. You got me. So yeah, we will do this more and more, not from Zoom, but in person next time.
Please, you are always welcome. Thank you so much, man. YouTube.com/Swerve City Podcast. Go subscribe. Yeah. Join us. Brad Williams was here. He's joining us. He's hooked. Y'all need to go get hooked. Yeah. What we got music-wise, man.
Yeah. Make sure you guys go to all digital markets. All tuning in that you guys. Thank you for all the love that you give us. Go to, once again, YouTube.com/Swerve City Podcast. We have the music right here, if you guys are looking behind my big head, I got, a big head. And go to Swerve City, get that GPS, Monteasy, Erica's son. There's a lot of collaborations and stuff we are individually and together working on. We have a lot of new music coming for you guys. There's a lot of things that are expanding in the music world, a lot of great things, a lot of projects. Make sure you guys check out that, where you guys be seeing this now, that new single from me and John Connor called Second Nature, about the wonderful, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Charlotte Flair. Make sure you guys go on all digital markets. tune in, check that out, and support us. Show us some love, man. We're doing some great things. My bro Swerve is going to be featured on some things soon that he's working on as well. We are very much expanding in the world of music as well as you should. So hit us up. Features, anything like that, Swerve City Podcast at gmail.com. Hit us up, man. We ain't gonna break your leg, man. Just make sure the song good. You know what I mean?
Them beats better be rocking. I want some melodies too.
You, man.
But as always, be confident in everything you do.
Wash your ass.
And do your homework.
Wash your ass.
Thank you very much.